Good afternoon, everybody. This is Katie Chuba from the Hartland Area Chamber of Commerce. And we are going to go live on Facebook. So I'm going to set that up, Louise. So hang on, we're recording, but we're just going to kind of get set up right now. And it's going to be good stuff. Just hang on one second. We got some people joining us, so we appreciate your patience. Hang on just 1 second while we get set up here. Appreciate you joining us for today's Zoom at noon. Today is June 16th, and we're going to get updates on the travel industry, which we all know after COVID-19. As businesses begin to reopening, we know that some business people have to travel, and maybe you have some vacation plans or didn't go on spring break, and you're curious to know what's going to go for the future of the travel industry. And we have travel expert Louise Weaver with Salty Dog Travel joining me today. Hi, Louise. Thank you so much for coming on board with me today.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello. All right, we're going to go live on Facebook just 1 second. So if you're listening and want to kind of look at Facebook at the same time, it might be fun to see us go live on Facebook. So hang on 1 second. We're going to start in just a second. I appreciate your patience. Why won't this let me go live? All of a sudden it won't let me go live. Here we go. How are you doing today, Louise?
I'm fine.
We've been on a couple calls today.
We've had one Zoom after another. Katie has made me jump outside of the box with all these Zoom messages.
Aww.
All these new experiences.
Are you getting out of your comfort zone a little bit?
I'm getting better at it.
Awesome. Well, thank you for taking the time today. I know we had a little busy morning. I know we were on another call together. But I really think that this is, this is important right now, talking about the travel industry.
Travel as we know it is no longer as people have experienced travel in the past. Everything has just totally changed. Salty Dog Travel, I'll give you a little intro on my background. Salty Dog Travel is a full service travel agency with me as your personal travel consultant. The agents are now changing names to advisor, consultant, expert. I won't go as far as an expert. But I started Salty Dog in 1996 after being reorganized out of a nursing management job. At my going away party, my sweetheart and I, Chick, had always planned our own trips. And one of the doctors I worked with suggested, why don't I plan travel? So we went to a number of entrepreneur shows, and I became affiliated with what they call a host agency. Host agencies work with home-based. I am a home-based agent. I have never had an office, what do you call them, a brick and mortar office. Mm-hmm. I've always been home-based. Host agencies are businesses that work with home-based agents as an independent travel contractor. So I am 100% owner-operator of Salty Dog Travel. I do pay a very small fee to them because I joined them in '96. I'm affiliated with Nexion Travel Group, which is one of the largest home-based agent hosts, and they are under the global parenting of Travel Leaders, which is a very well-known travel consortium. As my host, I'm sorry, I have a frog today. As a host, Nexion gives me the resources to grow my business, education, back office help. I work using their IATA, their licensing numbers with the cruise lines, with the airlines, with the tour operators. They take care of the majority of my bookkeeping, and they pay me my commission. Commissions for travel agent, if you didn't know it, are not paid until after a client travels, typically. So anything that was booked starting March 13th until now that has been canceled, being canceled, or I still have a couple cruises in September that probably will cancel. The agents, including myself, all that income is lost. Some of the operators that have paid commission recall the commission, so you have to pay it back. But it'll all work out later on. I turned Salty Dog into my full-time, so it was a full-time job. It became full-time after I retired from nursing a year and a half ago in July. I became a member of Hartland Chamber in '96 when it was still a business association. And honestly, it was the best thing I did. The networking, the camaraderie, the people you meet has been wonderful because I work out of my home. So you sit here with your dog and your computer and your sweetheart and you talk to each other. You need to get out. So I didn't know exactly how to broach the travel subject because there's so much going on. So what I did is put down a number of reasons why you should use a travel agent and incorporate all these changes. If you have any questions, type them in for Katie to let me know.
Yeah, so I thought, Louise, if I may, can I interject here for a second? So yeah, those of you that are listening, or if you're tuned in on Facebook, if you have a question, you can type in the Q&A on the webinar, or you can just type on Facebook. I'm kind of going to manage both. And, you know, Louise, I really appreciate you talking about the travel industry. And if you could kind of, you know, in our discussion, and I'd like to keep this really fluent and like a discussion, talk about how it's going to affect business people, what you kind of see happening, what the airlines are doing to keep us safe and what their protocols are. I know you have updates for us on that. And then, like you said, what about those folks that had vacation plans, cruises, or they were going to leave the country? I'm sure there's more that they can expect to go through. I know we kind of talked a little bit about what we were going to cover today. So I think you have your hands full as a travel consultant with walking your, and you do a great job, by the way. I know many people that have traveled with you and you're good at walking your clients from the time they leave their home to the time they return to their home and then all their travel experiences. But there's going to be a lot more to it, right? To make it a vacation or make it a successful trip. So.
Well, right now I have kind of personally gone against what a lot of agents are doing. I am not encouraging travel right now because I pride myself in giving my clients the best experience they have. And right now, not knowing what the rules, regulations, social distancing, health regulations are going to be, I don't want to book someone on a cruise for October, November and have them close up doors again and everything just boomerang again. Or to go on a cruise and have to wear a face mask on a cruise. To me, that's just not a vacation. So that's one of the reasons for using a travel agency. And I have to add a disclaimer first. Some of the rules, regulations, and dates or closures that I say right now today could be open or closed tomorrow. So you really have to keep up with the trends almost on a every 24-hour basis. So why book with me or why use a travel agent right now? I like to think I'm an expert, but I know I'm not, because you're always, always learning. I am certified. I do belong to ASTA, which is the American Society of Travel Advisors, the Small Business Network group. You can go on ASTA, and I do have my own my profile there. And that's a good place to look for a travel agent. I belong to PATANA, which is a professional travel agent, National Travel Agent Association, and certified in Disney special needs. If you know someone who is in a special needs group, and it just doesn't have to be like special needs handicapped, it's medical supply stuff. I have access to all that. Certified with the cruise lines. My first destination specialist was Hawaii. I'll go to Hawaii at the drop of a hat. However, right now, if you get on a plane and fly to Hawaii, you are quarantined for 14 days. And that governor just now extended it through the end of July, I believe. So the flights to Hawaii might be inexpensive, but you have to get off the plane, go to the hotel. You cannot go shopping. You cannot rent a car. You cannot go out to the restaurants. You're stuck in your hotel for 14 days. And that's something that people don't pay attention to if they do their own airline booking or car booking or hotel booking. You have to now look at the rules and regulations for your destination. Couple of the islands have now opened up. The Caribbean is slowly starting to open up. Monday, Greece started welcoming vacationers. The UK, the United Kingdom, has a 14-day mandatory quarantine. So if you want to fly to England, Scotland, Wales, Ireland, you're quarantined for 14 days. Now they are giving you a 24-hour period, but still. Norway, Denmark, they're closed. The cruise ports, for the most part, the Alaska cruise tours, cruising, it's totally closed for the year because Canada has closed its ports at least through the end of October right now. So all the Eastern Seaboard cruises, all the Great Lake cruises that hit a Canadian port, they're closed. And that's what the travel advisors keep up on, or they should keep up on.
I just had a question. So you talked about, flying, say, overseas, like say for those business people that need to fly to England or Germany. Yes. Or whatever. I mean, they can, obviously they're not going to go. I don't know. Maybe they are going to go now and sit 14 days in a hotel room. I don't know. But is it just like everything else, Louise? Is it kind of like you're waiting to see what happens before you recommend people booking flights over there?
I am.
Because you don't want to book a flight for business.
No.
I mean, there are some businesses that I have to go there. I have to go international.
But that's where the business itself, most businesses, most corporations, I am not a corporate, I don't do corporate work. I have two business clients, but most corporations have their own travel advisors, and they should know where they can and where they can't go. Like China. Yeah. China cannot come here, and it's depends on what you're doing, whether you can go to China.
Yeah.
The borders have opened up in Europe, a lot to the US because they want us, but you're still under their rules and regulations for quarantine and travel. So you might be able to go to one country, but like to Italy, but you won't be able to drive over to Switzerland. So I wouldn't travel for a little while yet to see, because now some of these places that have opened up are seeing a spike in the virus again. And you don't want to take a chance. Also with the airlines are welcoming passengers. Delta specifically has kept the middle seat empty in their 50%, 60% reduced in first class, 50% in their comfort class, and in their main cabin, the middle seat. If there is a middle seat, that is blocked off. United just took the first step of all the airlines to mandate that you have to sign a completed health assessment prior to, or at check-in, prior to getting on the plane. It's a checklist. You have to wear a face mask on the plane at all times. You have to tell them you haven't had a fever, cold, cough, not visited with or know anybody who has had COVID-19. So now that one airline has done it, I'm sure almost all the airlines will somehow in their online check-in or at the airport put those questionnaires right before you. So you have to be prepared. And that's the other thing. TSA is a totally different process. TSA is the security at the airport. You will not hand them your boarding passes anymore. You will hold up your boarding pass. You will hold up your passport. They will look at everything. You will have to separate food from your carry-on. The one difference is you can take a 12-ounce bottle of hand sanitizer with you instead of the little 3-ounce carry-on. However, TSA, if you have something that's not on their okay list in your checked bag, in your carry-on bag that goes through screening, they don't want to touch it. So they're going to make you go out of the line, out back through security, take out everything and re-enter. So it's much better to go to the airport prepared. You can go on the one big website that's very good for everyone to remember is www.travel.state.gov, G-O-V. You can find everything on there. Specifically now, passport. Well, you can hit on the right side, you can put in where you want to go. It'll come up with all the, it'll come up with the color code for their travel. Like, you know, US is still under code 4, meaning, you know, non-essential travel. But for passports, passport offices have been closed. So if you have not gotten your passport since February, if you applied before February, you probably haven't gotten it. If you go online and check it, it'll say processing. Passport offices, 14 of the 29 nationwide passport offices opened phase 1 Friday and yesterday. But that means all they're going to start doing is processing 1.7 million passports that are waiting. First come, first serve. They will process if you have a life and death situation and have to travel within 72 hours. We do have a passport office here in Detroit. It's down on 4th Street. There's a number, you call online and it's all prompted. You make an appointment.
So Louise, if they have over 1 million passports to process, what?
They are estimating
I mean,
6 to 8 weeks to clear the backlog from February.
Wow.
Normal passport time is typically 4 weeks. They say 6 weeks, yeah, but it's 3 to 4 weeks. And now I have clients that submitted them second week in February and it still says processing. When you submit your passport, you give them your birth certificate and, you know, legal documents. So these clients really, even if they wanted to go on a cruise right now, which you can do if it's from a US port and comes back to the same port with your birth certificate, they don't have a birth certificate because they sent it in with their passport. The best way to check whether they're open or not is to go online. www.state.gov. I use that for everything. I'm a one-stop shop, meaning I can handle everything. Transfers from your home to the airport, whatever type of trip you want. I try to sit down, or I think in the 20 years I've been doing this, I've had 4 clients come to my house. I can meet someplace, talk to you on the phone, but I will ask all kinds of questions to find out exactly what you want to do, what you've done in the past, what your preferences are, what you like, what you don't like, and then work out whatever you want. I don't have any fees. I have one fee for if you want an airline ticket, car rental, or hotel only, because those vendors typically do not give travel agents any commission, and my fee is only $15. Other agents have what they call a look-to-book fee or a planning fee that it's either a non-refundable or it goes into your final payment. I haven't done that. I just haven't. By working with Nexion, I have access to one of the largest travel databases available. So if I don't have the experience or the knowledge on where you want to go, one of my first places to go is to our chat on Nexion. They also have very exclusive BDMs, business development managers. And so instead of every area in the country, like with all businesses, has a business development manager for their area, but I have two. I have one that does Michigan and one that does Nexion. And because they're with Nexion, they are dedicated to Nexion. So a lot of problems that have come up with clients stuck someplace since March, I have a lot of help with my BDMs and the reps from the airlines, from the tour operators, which leads me to say travel insurance. Please, please, please purchase the travel insurance, depending what you're doing, either through the cruise line, the travel vendor, the Delta Vacations, Apple Vacations, or all travel advisors have what we call third-party insurance operators, Travel Guard or AIG Travel Guard, Travel Insured, and they all have a number of different policies. You don't have to buy the gold policy.
So Louise, I have a question about the insurance.
Yes.
So if you have clients that have booked for spring break, let's say as an example, and they had to cancel because of COVID, is the travel insurance good for them to rebook? I mean, how does the travel insurance work in that kind of scenario, or are you running into any of that?
If they took the insurance, the travel insurance will assist in getting their money back that they paid, or the vendors, the airlines, the resorts, the cruise lines have been even changing their own policies as this has been prolonged. If you had canceled for any if you canceled prior to the vendor, the cruise line, the airline canceling, then you had to really abide by the rules and regulations of the travel insurance. If the vendor, say like the cruise lines who all just shut down, they're all parked in Miami and Fort Lauderdale, and you should go on a Google thing and look at all the ships. It's like a ship graveyard. They have all had either transfer that money to a new cruise in a future cruise credit, or you have been provided a refund. And that's without insurance. With the insurance, if you lost money, then you can use the insurance to claim the lost money. If you had canceled for any reason, some of the insurance, the true tour vendors like Apple, Delta, and all that, a lot of them, they have a clause that's canceled for any reason, and that's a little bit more pricier. You're covered.
Okay.
But you have to have paid for the insurance prior to COVID being announced. That's the big caveat.
Do you find that a lot of the airlines and resorts, and a lot of people had vacations planned this past spring, are you finding that they're working with your clients? Are they working with you to either kind of hang on and we'll reschedule for you because we want your business? Like, how are they addressing all of that?
The majority of them are working with us. However, it is taking forever and ever. Clients who canceled or had a cruise canceled and want a refund versus a future cruise credit, because of the amount of refunds requested, these companies were not ready for that. So they have said, first they said 30 days you'll get your money back, then 60, now it's 90. Clients that have canceled in like March are just now starting to get their money back. So the future cruise credit or future travel credit, like for the airlines, you get a credit. It used to be it was good for 1 year. The majority of the companies have now extended that for 18 months to 2 years, which is very helpful because you don't know where you want to travel.
Right.
Personally, this also goes against what a lot of other agents are doing. I encouraged my clients to take their money back because we don't know who's gonna weather this.
Business. Yeah. Yeah, that's a whole nother caveat to all of this.
A couple very reputable companies just have all of a sudden closed up. And that's hard because then if you had insurance through them, you're screwed.
Yeah,
but if you have third-party insurance.
Yeah, way to not sugarcoat it.
No. So that they are helping. It takes the whole time. If you've booked your own travel and you try to call Royal Caribbean, Carnival, Norwegian, you try to call the airlines, the whole time is terrible right now. They do have a live chat in many of the places, and even that has gotten to be
bogged down.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So
it's crazy.
All I can do is please tell people I'm going to start having clients sign a waiver if they don't want insurance. But you get bit once by not taking insurance, you'll always take it again.
And I know it varies on your trip and it varies what your travel plans are and your purchase, but is insurance, is it affordable?
The majority of it is. The better policies are based on age and cost of your trip. So the more expensive the trip and the older you are, of course, you're going to pay a little bit more.
Yeah.
And it does go up, but there are policies. If you're relatively healthy and you just, well, you never know if you're going because something can happen.
Right.
But there are policies that can cover from day of departure forward, not cover canceling if something happens before. So the policies vary. And what I do is I work with the ones that the vendors offer, and then I have a couple that I look at to see which is most beneficial. And that's typically how I help plan someone's trip also. I see what they like to do, and then because I work for myself, I work for my client. I don't have to meet, what do you call it? I don't have to meet a certain level. I don't have to meet quotas because of, I don't know what the word is.
Yeah, I mean, you're in business.
I don't have
for
a
yourself.
quota to meet to stay in business with Nexion.
Right.
If I sell something and it goes into my account, fine. So I work for my client. I try to get them the best vendor, whatever suits them and their needs. If they want to go budget, fine, we'll do that. If they want to go in the, luxury, we do that. But that's why I sit down and talk with them to see exactly what they want.
It sounds very, and I know several people that have done business with you and traveled with you, but it's very customized, very personal, it
is, and that's something I do really pride myself on. My clients are spoiled. I don't do a lot of forms back and forth on the internet. The majority of my clients like that piece of paper. So instead of forwarding them the link to print out their own cruise documents or print out their own airline tickets, I print everything out, make a little package and give it to them.
Nice.
By being hosted by Nexion and Travel Leaders, we often have the opportunity to add some added value, added amenities that the client cannot call and say, hey, I want to book this cruise. What are you going to give me?
Right.
9 times out of 10, I don't tell the clients they're going to get $50 shipboard credit, or they've got a bottle of wine coming, or for my luxury travels, transfers to and from their home to the airport. A lot of that stuff I can get added on, and the clients have no added cost to the client.
Nice.
It's very personalized service, but you have to get to know your clients.
Sure, sure.
So,
Well, everyone has different desires and different travel needs, and you know,
that's an understatement.
gotta.
And what you think, what is good for one client is not at all good for another. And the biggest challenge for me in the beginning was not to put my desire into their trip. Oh, I wouldn't go there. Have to find out why they want to go there or why they don't want to go there.
Sure, sure.
And then, turn it into a positive for them. I can't put I love Hawaii. Other people would never want to fly cross country to Hawaii. So
Sure, sure.
I love Jamaica,
Yeah.
So
Right on.
you have to get to
Cool.
know your client.
We all do, no matter what business you're in. You have to qualify your client before you can sell them something. So,
and you have to listen to them.
Sure, sure.
You have to listen to kind of to what they're not saying also,
Yeah.
And I try not to say, okay, what's your budget? Because nobody knows what their budget is. You might get sticker shock. The first sticker shock person I ever had was if you go to an all-inclusive resort, it appears higher price, but your drinks are included, your entertainment's included, your food's included, there's no tipping. And they said, we're not paying that. I said, but you've got 2 kids. If they spilled a pop, if you watch that pop spill on the beach, you're going to be heartbroken because you're going to have to go spend $3 for another pop. If you come home and you are totally not happy, I will reimburse you. And they came home just ecstatic because they met some friends and their kids were spilling their pop, or they wanted this and they wanted that. And they were being nickel and dime to death, where my clients was all covered.
Yeah.
So
sometimes it's easier. I mean, you're going for a luxury vacation. You don't have to worry about that stuff, right?
Right. And that's why I'm really not pushing a lot of travel right now. I'm not going to travel with a face mask on, if I have to walk around a cruise ship. And they just can't say right now, yes or no.
Yeah.
The cruises are they're done through just about the end of July, at least. Canada is done for the year, just about, end of October. A number of the cruise lines just put out that they are not sailing until after July 31st. So,
wow, crazy.
Yeah, and that changes. So one of the big tour operators, New York City Vacations, closed its doors. They have been around for years and years and years.
Wow.
So you just don't know who's going to be around.
So we have a question that came in, Louise, and Devana is curious to know if there's any deals for pre-booking a trip for 2021, like maybe Disney or a resort.
Disney never has any deals.
Disney is Disney. They don't have to give
hardly
deals.
Ever has any deals. The best time to travel to Disney for the best rates is September, October, because they usually put their meal package on special. The cruise lines, the resorts, they have come out with some deals now. Yeah.
So people are, they know that 2020 is kind of a wash.
Well,
right?
I just booked a cruise for December of 2021.
Okay.
That seems pretty safe.
Okay, that's pretty far away.
But from March till October, I have 2 going in October, and they may cancel, and then I have 2 in December, and now they're going. I have canceled 28 cruises. So
wow. You know, and that's, to me, maybe, I don't know if that's a risk or not, a risk to book your cruise in 2021. What if those cruise lines go out of biz?
That's
You
right.
know, I mean, I've read the news. I mean, they're not getting funding from the United States. They're not,
The airlines
so
got funding, but the cruise lines are not getting
correct.
funding, and the resorts are not getting funding. The resorts are slowly, that's another, like for all-inclusives, they have to go through so much recertification, rechecking by whatever country their health system is. I don't want to walk around a resort right now with a mask on.
Right.
That's just not, I don't want a face mask on and have a suntan, you know, here and here.
I never even thought of that.
Yeah. So,
Can you imagine?
or the amount of chemicals they have to put in their pools once the pools open up. So,
Yeah, talk about long-term effects on your skin down 10 years from now,
yeah.
right? So,
Or the restaurants are going to be social distancing. So it's, if the resort is full, which I'm sure they're not going to be full for a long time, you know, you have to social distance with everything. But there are deals coming out, and they change.
yeah,
So the only thing, just take the insurance,
yeah. And
especially with the cruise lines.
do you anticipate a lot of deals for 21? Do you think? You think they'll
I think
try
there
to
will be
make
a
it up
lot of,
in numbers, you know,
I
try
think
to attract people?
what's showing up now is, like for cruises, you book a category, you get upgraded a couple categories.
Oh,
The cruise night, the resorts are offering get 5 nights, get a 6th or 7th, you know, added on.
yeah.
The airlines, there are some deals, but you have to watch.
Now, have the airline prices gone up? You would think if they're at 50, 60% capacity, their costs have not changed. They still have to put fuel in, and they still have to have,
Airlines, it depends where you want to go. It has gone up.
okay.
You
I was
can
gonna say,
find
I
a
would
couple
imagine
good deals, but then
flying's gonna be a little pricey from here
it
on
will
out, I
be.
would think.
It will
Yeah,
be. And once they reach capacity, they're flying full, and you know,
yeah,
you won't get on.
yeah.
So um,
It's a gamble.
it is.
Yeah.
What else can I tell you? Any more questions? Let me see.
Yeah, is there any questions out there? Anyone that's listening on Facebook or on our webinar, if you have any questions for Louise about,
I have a couple of travel tips.
oh yeah, those are always good.
If you're on Facebook, I am not on Facebook, guys. I just
Oh, that's
have
okay.
never been on Facebook. I
Guess
know
what,
I should
Louise?
be.
Guess what? You're on Facebook right now.
Yeah.
Yay.
Anyways, social media, if you're going away on a trip, don't post your trip.
Oh,
That's
sure, sure.
one thing people do all the time, and they come home and their house is robbed or
Yeah.
their mail has been taken. Post it when you get home. It's great to let people know where you are. Or if you do post it, don't say, here is where I am today, because that's just, it's just an alert for bad things to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that's what people like to do. My clients send me all kinds of pictures and messages of where they are, and please don't do that.
Yeah, I know. I see that New from the Chamber is watching on Facebook, just so you know. And they did a trip last year, her and her family, and they created a private page and then posted their pictures in there for like their family and close friends, as opposed to like emailing or whatever. So that's an idea too.
Yeah.
For,
Yeah.
you know, if you just want to share with your family, or you can always create, you know, whether it's like a Google photo
But keep it
album,
private.
or
Don't let
keep
the
it
whole
private.
world know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hi, New. She's saying hi on Facebook.
With rental cars, when you rent a car, or even a hotel room, take a picture of the rental car, because
Oh,
you sign all these you know, they tell you to make a inspection, and you look and look and look and take a picture of the front, each side, and the back. And then you have proof that you didn't do what they're accusing you of.
good tip.
if you travel, some of the states now, but especially traveling in Europe, watch out for those secret police at the red lights. The red lights are computerized. We got a ticket in New Zealand, and the rental car was my name, so the ticket came in my name because he went through a yellow light.
Oh, shoot.
Some of these countries are very, very sticky, so watch out for the
I have a question. So you talked about the rental car,
yeah.
which made me think of this. What about Uber? What's going on with Uber? Do you know?
No, we have used Uber.
Does anybody out there know that's on Facebook or listening on the webinar? Because I mean, do you want to get into a stranger's vehicle where a bunch of other strangers were just in to have them take?
With COVID.
Yeah. So, I mean, we've gone on vacation before and I've called it Uber to take us down the street or whatever. So I wonder what shame on me, I'm usually up to speed on stuff like that. But
I never even thought of that. I will see if I can find out what's going on with Uber or Lyft.
Yeah, Uber or Lyft.
And see.
Because you would think that people might be nervous to get into a Uber or Lyft to go from one place to, especially when you're flying, you don't have a vehicle.
Right.
Sometimes Lyft is a little bit more convenient than actually it's more inexpensive to rent a car. When I travel, it is. I traveled last summer.
Yep.
And we met at the airport and we all got a Lyft to take us to the hotel, and I don't know what it was, $10 a person or something, so.
Well, we did Uber in Miami a year ago to meet my nephew. We were staying overnight before a cruise. The taxi from the hotel to South Beach was like $40. Uber was $12.50.
Isn't that crazy? So Devana said in our Q&A, she said, I received an email yesterday that Lyft is back up and running. So, okay.
Good.
And I know these Lyft drivers can, they can pick and choose, right? Whether they want to work or.
They can. And so can Uber. They can pick and choose.
Sure. So, well, we have we have a few minutes left. We don't have to go to 1 p.m. today. So I appreciate all the information and tips. Was there anything else that you wanted to share? I know you talked about consider insurance, especially now in this time. If
anybody has questions or concerns, just feel free to call or email me.
So can you share your phone number and your email address, Louise?
Yeah.
You can just say it. And you know what? For those of you that are listening, if you go, oh, she's got her business card.
Is that upside down?
No, it's perfect.
Salty Dog. I can't hold it straight. Wait a minute.
You're good. Salty Dog 48
at Comcast.net.
And also, if you go on to heartlandchamber.org, if you go onto the Hartland Chamber website, her contact information is in our membership directory. So there's another resource.
I do have a website too, www.saltydogtravel.com.
Awesome. So there's good ways to get a hold of Louise. If you have questions, I'm sure she'd be happy to answer.
And for me, being a travel advisor is not a job. I love helping people travel the way we enjoy traveling. We love cruising, and that's a hit or miss for people too.
Yeah.
But I love to make people's trip or their vacation trip,
right? A good experience.
A good experience.
Yeah.
Yes, an adventure.
Well, that's what people want. They're on vacation. They want to get away from everything. And they want to go have fun and have a good time and have a good experience. So
don't plan a trip for August or September, okay?
No. Well, maybe a driving one, just local.
Well, yeah,
local
you can.
Trip.
Right. Oh, and I do not do Airbnb, and I do not do VRBOs because I have no way of vetting where I'm putting my clients. I do have a couple vendors that I deal with if someone wants a private home, a villa, an apartment.
Gotcha.
But I just don't do Airbnbs and VBROs or VRBOs.
Good to know. Appreciate that. Well, thank you again, Louise. I really appreciate your time today, all of your time. I know you've done a lot of chamber things today, so I appreciate that.
But just if anybody has questions or just want information, let me know.
Okay. All right, well, appreciate that. And, you know, this video is being recorded. We're going to put it on our YouTube channel. It's on Facebook Live, so people can kind of whip through this video if they want to get, they missed some parts of kind of what's going on in the travel industry. So thanks again for
That's
joining me in
just
my
a hit and
Zoom.
miss, and it does change on a daily basis now.
Yeah,
So.
well, it does in every industry, it really, right? We've seen
Right, it is.
it's changing here at the chamber every day. So
Right.
this Thursday, if you want to tune in to our Zoom at noon, we will have Chuck Hughes, who is the superintendent of Hartland Consolidated Schools, is joining me again to give us an update on kind of what's going on with the schools. So if you can tune in or register, you can just go right on our website, heartlandchamber.org, and tune in. So, all right, Louise, thank you so much.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, I'll let you go. You enjoy the rest of your afternoon.
I'm going to. You too.
Hey, awesome. Thanks. I will see you soon. All right. Bye, everyone. Thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you next time.